Hello, hello, happy Friday! Welcome to our Friday Witchy Hangout. We do this every single Friday where we get together, we mix our energies together, we ask a juicy question of the universe, and it's a good, nice way, I think, to touch base. So if that sounds nice to you, welcome and subscribe to the channel and all that other YouTube stuff. Today we have a very juicy question. It is the bedrock question that tarot really assists us in getting to the heart of, which is, what are they hiding? What's behind the veil? What can't I see? But in particular today, it is, what are they hiding? So that does, I don't know. I guess that maybe implies intentionality, but sometimes people hide things and don't really necessarily mean to, or like know why they're doing it. So I guess we'll just see what comes through in the readings. Thank you guys so much for your nice compliments. Everybody is here in the chat. Okay, so we've got 3 piles as per usual, and we do have an anchor card today, and the anchor card is extremely fitting. It's the mask. So the anchor card is not a choice, but it is an energy that goes into all of the piles, and I feel like we read together and we're all intuitive and we're kind of blending our energies, and I'm picking up on more general things, but you might also pick up on things that are relevant too. And so just take this moment to look at this anchor card and see if you're getting any messages or any energy, or if anything's standing out to you about the fact that maybe like I'm does this stand out to you? Is this a message? Sorry. Anyways, just like little things like that, or maybe not. Or maybe not. So that's the anchor card. Thank you. Happy Friday from the Show Me State. Much love and many blessings. I'm from there. Okay, so we'll put up the pile selections. Oh, interesting. Okay, so here are our 3 piles. So pile number 1 is Kairos. And pile number 2 is the Siren, and pile number 3 is the dead end, in that order. So I'll put this back up, and if you haven't already been drawn into your pile, or perhaps multiple piles, because maybe this person is hiding a lot of things, we don't know. That's why we're here. So here are the 3 piles. Do whatever you usually do, even if you have. This is the time in the reading where we like to just touch base with ourselves and turn the gaze inwards and allow everything around us to just drop, allow all the noise and the silence, at least whatever noise we have control over in our own minds, we just allow it to kind of settle to the bottom of our consciousness, and just kind of lightly pay attention to anything else that's kind of going on around you. But go ahead and ground yourself into that space in whatever way you like to do that. All right. And whenever you're ready, you can just open your eyes and bring yourself back to the land of the living, where things are hustling and bustling, and be drawn into whatever pile or multiple piles you're drawn into. Pay attention to if there's like a sequence to it. Maybe you are drawn into more than one pile. And I like to set the intention that anything that goes on in the tarot readings can be a message, but while it's not making me a paranoid person, because that's not the point either, right? Like, well, what does that mean? Or what does that mean? Like, just allowing things to kind of trickle through. If something tickles your curiosity, allowing it to tickle. If it doesn't come right through in a message right away, it might later, is what I'm getting. It might they might try to tie something up with a bow later. That could be later on in this reading, or like just later on in your life. You might just be walking down the street and be like, oh, like see something. And I don't know. I just got goosebumps. I think they're trying to show you some kind of like continuity, that they're always with you and that they're always speaking with you. I just heard like learning how to listen, like just learning how to listen to the waves, or like following the waves and the flow of your own consciousness. I don't know. That's just what came through. So, hello. Okay. So I guess we will start with pile number 1. If you're ready, what are they hiding? Pile number 1, what are they hiding? And let's compassion this as well. Compassion. you guys are being so sweet. Okay, so Spirit, for pile number 1, what is pile number 1's person hiding? Okay, so I just reached for one of the conversational decks, and it's at the bottom. It was my fault, but I blamed you. I feel like this person is hiding. I think that they're watching you. I always kind of get that impression with this card for obvious reasons. But yeah, I feel like this person is watching you, and the Kairos card does link to time. So there's something here relevant about time. So it could be that time has passed, and maybe you don't know this person's watching you. You don't think that they're watching you because time has passed, or they could have been watching you for an extended period of time. I'm kind of getting that, like they've watched something here kind of shift or change, and it's allowed them to have some kind of like maturity or some kind of like realizations here around your energy, and possibly like the mask that you wear. This person could have thought that you were wearing a mask or something here like that. But I think they are realizing that something here was their fault, but they were blaming you, and they wish that they had treated you better. This person, I think, is also seeing like your maturity, and I think there's something here. I'm hearing the word envy in my mind. So I think this person might be realizing that they were envious towards you in some way, and that caused them to act up. I just heard it caused them to act up, or it caused like them to wear a mask. Maybe they're realizing that they saw a mask, or that they were the ones wearing a mask, or that somebody around was, because it's either they're realizing that they had some kind of like envy towards you or envy about you, or that somebody around you did, and that explains their behavior, that they were actually wearing a mask in order to cover up something that was like, this just looks like void energy. Like, you know, it's just void. It's like somebody here was like trying to be like nice or something. They were actually envious of your energy. So I feel like this person, I just heard that they lost out. They're realizing that they lost out. Possibly, I'm hearing in partnering with this person or believing somebody else's mask. It doesn't feel like it's them, and it doesn't feel like it's you, to be honest. I think there's like some kind of third energy here, and it doesn't have to be a romantic third party, because for some of you, this could be like a work situation or something, and somebody was like, I just heard a sea full of sharks and they all smell blood. It's like somebody here got like a whiff of something. They didn't bother to like fact check it or put it in some kind of context. It was all they needed. They were just looking for an excuse. They were looking for a reason to co-sign their own envy towards you. And they used it, and they like ramped it up in the most negative possible light. And they didn't give you any like leeway. They didn't give you any grace. And I feel like you are a person who is like, maybe where you and them gave this person who was like very masked a lot of grace. And, but that same grace wasn't like spread around equally. Also, it feels like also to you. So I feel like this person feels like they have matured in their mindset, but also I think that they're seeing that you either like are mature or that you have really matured. And I do think there is a sense of, for some of you, especially if this is a breakup, I feel like you were bringing a lot to the relationship, but it kind of feels like in an earthy realm, which I think a lot of people misunderstand earthy energy, because it can seem like very predictable, because I'm hearing things like provider, like you were some type of provider. It could have been financially, it could have been for like stability, emotional stability. And this person was like bored or something, and like wanted more, but they didn't realize what they had when they had it, is what I'm getting. They didn't realize what they had when they had it. And so they could have like, for some of you, I just heard the word divorce. Like they could have left this relationship. For some of you, this was like marriage, or it like had the potential to go to marriage. And it's because they wanted new energy or like exciting energy or something, but then it wasn't what they thought it was. And I'm getting that whoever this person was, they went on some kind of like other journey, but it was like, they're showing me it was karmic. They're kind of showing me like a dead end. Oh, which is pile number 3. Oh my gosh. Remember I said like wrapped up with a bow? I wonder if it's going to get wrapped up in a bow in pile number 3. But anyways, like they went on some kind of like journey that they thought was better than you, or they thought it was like more exciting, because they took whatever it was that you had to offer here for absolute granted. I feel like you were just like overlooked, and you were seen as like maybe having nothing to offer, or like I feel like really like it was like shat upon or something here. And they thought they were just going to go out and find it somewhere else, or And come to find out, it was not so easy to find. Come to find out, this actually, I'm hearing the word rare. So there's something here, you are very rare. And I think this person's also realizing that whoever this third party was that like wanted in understood that about you. And maybe tried to mimic or like take your energy or something. They tried to be you. They could have tried to pretend to be you, but like a newer, shinier, exciting like version, but they really didn't bring the juice to the table is what I'm getting. Yeah, and so they feel like they should have seen something more clearly. They're seeing someone else's mask more clearly. And it could have been this third path, this third person or this third path, whatever it was. It was really shiny and it looked bohemian. And I think it looked no strings attached, or it looked like it didn't have a reason. You know, it looked like it, what I mean is like whatever they were saying about you, it looked like they didn't have an agenda. That's what I've wanted to say. It looked like, oh, well, I just, you know, I'm very casual, or I'm just mentioning this, or I'm just mentioning that. Come to find out, this person's like void on the inside, you know, and they don't have a conscience, or, and they're kind of realizing that. I just heard they feel like the loser, like they are left holding the bag, and the bag I feel like is believing this person in some way, or going down this other path that like looked really shiny. So this person is kind of like now realizing the truth. So there's a lot of messages that want to come through with this. I feel like this person wants to say a lot, but they're not actually saying a lot. I have my true desires for you. Okay, so I feel like that's about this third party. They're hiding this. They're realizing this third party was hiding some kind of like desires. And if you're just tuning in here, I'm saying things like what they realize, because what they're hiding is like the fact that they're watching you, and they're hiding these like realizations that they've had. The word maturation is really coming through, like maturation over time. As time has passed, things have kind of played out, and they're kind of like realizing that I hope the future will bring us together. This person is hiding that. They hope the future will bring you together. They hope that they will have an ability to make amends with you, and to maybe reveal, yeah, I miss our conversations and the sound of your voice. I think they want to have conversations, but they want it to genuinely be like very easy. I think this person is feeling kind of empty at the moment, or depressed, or like their life is empty, or like something has come up trumps is what I'm getting. Yeah, you're so beautiful inside and out. So this person's hiding like a sense of admiration for you. They're really impressed with your energy, and this person is, I just heard they're wanting another chance to like prove themselves, or to, this is the kind of person that's like, if I had it to do all over again, I would never make the same mistakes that I did, because I know exactly what I have. I know, I've been out there. But this is kind of the person that I guess needed to go down that other road. I do feel it was all in front of them for them to see if they wanted to, and if they wanted to kind of like push through it. But I don't like, why does this person, I don't know if they've gotten there yet. Why did they? Yeah, they were really blinded by something. They were really blinded by maybe the sense of themselves in the spotlight. Maybe it was a career opportunity. They were really blinded by some kind of, I don't know what kind of situation this is, because I don't think it's romantic for everybody, but it is romantic for some people. So they could have been blinded by somebody's mask, somebody that thought was like really alluring, very bohemian, or like casual or easygoing. I'm really getting that whatever this other road was, they thought it was really like grounded or like easygoing. They thought it was really easygoing. And I think whoever this was, they were just obsessed with themselves really. And they just like wanted the spotlight, or yeah, they're realizing that this person has secrets is what they're realizing. So this is kind of like an inception kind of level pile. This person is hiding that they know certain things, that they're observing certain things. And this feels like in you and potentially another person or another path that they chose over you, that they believe they are recognizing that person is like lying, or was lying, or is like jealous or envious of you. This person is watching you like in your routines, like in your healthy routines or something. They feel like you were the higher cup. They also feel like they're your higher cup in a sense, even though they maybe did you really dirty here. They feel like you're soulmates in some way, and they want to offer this, but they're also wanting to hide that. They want to hide the fact that they're making an offer. I feel like they want to kind of cloak the fact that they're making an offer to you. So this person's hiding that they want a new beginning. They want to have conversations, like easygoing conversations with you, in order to kind of soften, and like, it's like a soft launch. They want this to go somewhere. This person wants a redo, whatever it is they want to redo. They want they want you to have the top spot, but they feel like they have to kind of soft launch whatever this is. And yeah, they're realizing that somebody here got between the two of you, or like was trying to win, and was trying to, I just heard, be coercive, and was trying to really steal your energy is what it feels like. They took some idea from you or something. They've tried to like kind of cloak their energy in you. This person's seeing things entirely different. That's what they're hiding. They're seeing things entirely differently. They're not making moves right now. they are realizing what they did to you. They're realizing that they hurt your feelings, that they made you feel very anxious. They made you feel isolated. They made you feel alone. And I think this person is now also kind of feeling that way. Yeah, they also are, they wanted to like glow up in some way. They fell for something worldly. They fell for some kind of trick. And they thought it would make them look good. They thought this other person would make them look good in some kind of way. They're, I think they're seeing themselves differently too. Like they're seeing themselves as this kind of negative King of Wands character. So maybe somebody impulsive, somebody who didn't respect you, somebody who could have been a player, somebody who had some kind of like scheme or plan themselves. Then they went in for some kind of devil energy. And I think they might even be realizing this is what they're hiding. They're hiding that they're realizing this, that whoever this was that had this mask knew what they were doing. They saw this was maybe the only person who was seeing things clearly, this like third party, and they wanted to get in between. And so they're kind of realizing too that this third party saw them as like an animal, like as somebody who is actually not very elevated, somebody who would fall for their like lower impulses and their desires, whereas this person thought that they were in control and that they had a plan. And so this person could have came to them crying about something, but it was strategic. And I think they acted like it was like very casual or something. And I think this is even if this is a work situation. They came to them crying or bitching and moaning about something here. But they had an ulterior motive, and they also have a lack of conscience. Like whoever this is has a lack of conscience. But also weirdly, if this is like even a work situation, they have a lack of knowledge. So they don't, maybe they're new at the job. They don't really know how things operate. I feel this was obvious if you cared to look at it. I just heard 3 months. This person could have been on the job like 3 months or something. And, or maybe you were new and this person is like saying that you're being strategic or something, on the job, but you're just new and, you don't know enough yet to be strategic, you're still trying to figure out like, the routines of things and stuff. I feel this is pretty obvious when you just take a step back and actually like, look, there's something here about it. It's pretty obvious who is who and what is what, if you care to know, if you care to look. But I feel like this person felt that they could use something here strategically for themselves. They have to acknowledge that this other person was strategic, but they themselves felt like they wanted to, there was something here that was also strategic, or it was strategic for them to remain hidden. There's something here. Yeah, they felt that they could manipulate. They were in some Knight of Wands energy. They should have been in some Knight of Pentacles energy. Or maybe this person was saying that you were in some Knight of Wands energy, but actually you were the Knight of Pentacles, which is just one foot in front of the other. Again, it's very, they could have been saying that you were manipulative or something. Really, you're just the Knight of Pentacles, one foot in front of the other, like trying to establish routines and they feel that they got what they deserve is what I'm getting. They feel like, they feel like a fool. They feel like an absolute, I just heard a plum fool. This person feels like a plum fool. And, because they fell for this person and it affected some kind of decision and it was not in balance and it was not fair and it was not karmically in alignment. And it was because they fell for this person's like trick. And there could have been a group here as well, some kind of socializing or something. And maybe this person felt it was strategic because, I don't know, I don't know what they thought. So what else is this person hiding, Spirit? Well, they're thinking about cutting this person off, or there's a functioning dysfunction that's attached to this person, and it goes on inside of themselves, a way that they relate to the world. I'm hearing things like entitlement, strategic, like hiding they navigate the world through strategy. They're seeing this isn't a balanced way of making decisions or something. They're seeing that, and I feel like this person does have the ability to kind of cut this off. This person is seeing that they gave you a tower moment. And that somebody meant for them to as well. Somebody here was really planning on moving up in the world is what it feels like. And it was through some kind of like deceptive means. And now you're blocked off. I don't think, even as this was going on, because I do feel like there's been some distance here, I don't think that you responded in the way that they thought that you were going to respond. I think you got cold and distant. And I think that this, to me, it looks like an extremely defensive posture. But leave it to these two to flip that into you being manipulative. I feel like they've got equal involvement. They're adults after all. Yeah. But there is one person who is kind of waking up out of this, is what I'm getting. Yeah, there's judgment here. Look, you get the 9 of Cups, judgment. Oh yeah, so I feel like there's a wish fulfillment and there's a 7 of Swords. Somebody sneaking around. Somebody like on the periphery here, wanting to like get in. And somebody brings a lot of value to the table as well. This is an exalted Venus card for me. And there's judgment here. Something's being unearthed. That's what they're hiding, is that something is being unearthed, and this person's like, I just heard their peripheral vision, so it's like they widened their vision, because I think that's how whatever this manipulator does, they get you to look in at just something here like really close, and then but not put it in context. That's what I'm getting. And this reminds me of a reading that I did forever ago. This must have been like maybe a couple of years ago. And it was pile number 1, and it was the Destroyer card. I still remember it because that was like a really intense reading for me. And that card was really giving me the creeps. It looked like the big bad wolf in the card, but also like bullseye, you know, like in the sights of a Second Amendment device kind of a situation is what it looks like on the front of that card. And I remember saying, well, there's one person here who is a manipulator by trade. They are like skillful at their lying. They have a focus on their lying. They know what they are, and they try to get better at it. They don't have shame. They don't have a conscience about like lying. But there's somebody else who fell prey to their lower natures, and they're the same way, but they're like the sidekick. You know, they're the person that's like, you know, like when you watch the scary movie and there's like the one kid that's like, well, I don't really know if we should go into the spooky house. I mean, my mom always told me not to go in here. And they're like, oh, shut up, it'll be fine, you know? And then like they go in there, and then they feel like a type of way. Then, you know, everything starts to go wrong kind of a thing. The Bayou, thank you so much for the super chat. Loving this connection. I need this clarity. Yeah. And so I think this person is kind of like realizing this. They were put in some kind of karmic decision-making position, and this was like their heart being weighed. And I'm not trying to stand up for this person. They did wrong, and they know that they did wrong. But this is somebody who's actually maturing up out of it. This other person is just sneaky. Like, they really don't have much of a conscience, and they just sneak around the fact that they're kind of hollow on the inside, actually. And this person's like realizing it. Something here has gone on long enough, is what I just heard. Okay, so anything else that they're hiding, Spirit? They're holding a lot of secrets within them, but it's like wisdom secrets. They're with the blue. I always think about this painting class that I took. I'm not an artist at all, but I wish that I was. But this artist woman, she was like talking about the colors, and with blue, she was like painting on with the blue brush, and it was also like soothing. And she was like, blue holds the mysteries, and like, you know, has like a depth of knowledge or whatever. And this isn't like the darkest, deepest shade of blue, but it kind of like they're seeing things, and like, look, the blue of their eye, and then like the blue of like the surrounding little scales. And I'm kind of getting Isis energy with this, that they've kind of pieced together like different little things of wisdom, like in seeing this. So I feel like you probably got your ass handed to you in this situation, or your heart probably more likely. This soul is awakening to this, the fact that they chose an absolute dud. They over you is what I'm hearing. They went down some kind of empty, hollow path. And it looks like a dead end to me, but also like a roundabout, something that just like maybe goes around in circles. Something just goes around in circles. This person wants a passionate new beginning with you. They want to clear the air with you, but they know that you're defensive. They know that you're defensive. Yeah, this person's been sneaking around. I feel like they've been snooping around on your social media here. They're watching you maybe have a new beginning. They're seeing that you have boundaries up here too. Yeah, this person seeing you move on. They're seeing you like find your control point, that you're leaving, like even the emotions like to do with this person. Something about your new beginning, this person has like, they are hiding that they know something about your new beginning. Somebody could have handed them something to do with your new beginning as well. It could even be like a phone. Like this could be one of your friends. Like, oh, look, this is this person's social media, because maybe you have this person blocked. And this person really liked what they saw. They were really impressed. And I feel like you're looking beautiful and graceful and like strong, and I feel like it crashed any poison that was like thrown on you of like who you were, or that this person had in their mind or something like that. Yeah, they're seeing things from a different angle. I think they're seeing the water energy that you bring. So like the love. They're seeing the care, the nurturance. They see you with your back towards them, though, that you're not paying attention to them. Block list longer than the Bible. Okay, anything else that this person is hiding? Okay, what is the Magician card keeps coming out? What is the Magician card, Spirit? Oh, they're noticing your skill set. Okay, so this person's noticing your skill set that maybe, I'm just really getting that this person's watched you grow up is what I'm hearing, like over time, ever since your exodus from the situation. And you might not think that this person's watching you or that they much care about you because of the way that you were treated and maybe because of how much time goes on here. But I'm kind of getting that this person is like awakening their heart space, but they're seeing that you are, I think, ready to go on the journey without them, weirdly. So I don't know, again, what kind of connection this is, because for some of you, this is like work. So this could be like, well, you're ready to fly the nest. If it's parents, you're ready to fly the nest. But also like, you are, I think for some, they're also realizing that you are realizing their manipulation tactics. And like, because this person, I think, can get tricky with their language in order to kind of disguise and cloak the reality of what it is that they're doing, and they kind of gaslight. This person, it's funny because they're giving me these what kind of like a, not a clarifier word, but like a quantifier, a qualifier. They're giving me these like qualifier words, like, oh well, I'm kind of manipulative, you know, and I kind of gaslight the situation in order to, and this person, because they feel like maybe they do have a heart to them, whereas this person that they involve with really doesn't, but like pretends like they do. And they get really good with their lies because nothing is tethering them back. This person does seem like they have a little bit of a heart to them, and that they are humbled is what I'm hearing, humiliated and embarrassed that they did not act from that place. And so they're kind of trying to like hide it or like sweep it under the rug, but they feel like you can see actually now what it is. Yeah, they feel like there's an end there. This is the person like clinging on, and you are ready to like let things go. So anything else that they're hiding? This person wants a new beginning. If this, whatever, I don't know, like, again, if this is romantic, if this is work, they want a new beginning from this person, from whoever, this path or whatever that they went down. This person is, they're at the end of a cycle. This cycle had to kind of play out. It was never going to go anywhere because it was karmically decreed that this person, once they did you the way that they did you and they sided with this person, there was a way that the language was handled in this situation. The conversations were not fair. They were not equal. They were not balanced. You were not given grace. This person was given all the grace. And for some of you, I feel like this is super weird because I think that you were the known quantity. The fact that you are a good person, the fact that you are a hard worker, that was like very known to people. Whereas I don't know why I'm getting 3 months. It's like this person was there for 3 months and was believed over you. Like this person was not a known quantity at all. And it's really just because of the jealousy and the envy. People were just like looking for a reason. And this awful person was their reason, even though none of it was true. That's what I'm getting. Yeah. Yeah, they're seeing the karmas of the past, and it might involve a child or secrets, or they're really, this person knows that they got themselves in the situation that they want to. They want to move forward, and they're feeling like stuck. And I feel like they want to move forward towards you, but also they feel stuck and trapped in the situation that they got themselves in some kind of way. Yeah, heartbreak and betrayal. And they know it changed their fate lines here in a big way. So anything else that they're hiding? I feel like all this energy turned back around on them. Because I feel like this was you in the past. Like, we got the 8 of Swords, the 5 of... I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Maybe not. The 8 of Swords, the 5 of Wands, and the Moon. So I feel like you were like in the dark about something here. About this like competition. You were kept in the dark. There's something karmic about that. The fact that that was not like brought to your attention in conversation, you were owed that. You were karmically owed that. So it's not right that this person withheld some kind of information and about what was being said or what was being like accused, or the fact that there was a decision being made. It's not right. It's not acceptable, karmically speaking, that this person like kept it from you. So you didn't know that there was this like argument or like fight over you, or like about whether you're going to stay or go at a job or something. You didn't know that. It was like in secret, and there was all these illusions around it, where, because that's why you need to be brought in to this conversation, and you just weren't. I feel like there's somebody here that was like, why don't you run your mouth? Why don't you pull down your pants, whip your asshole out, and just flap it all around this room? That's who this person was like. allowed to do that. And you were not at all given any grace or decency, like at all. There's something karmic about this. And it was meant to, like at the very least this person meant to, but I think everybody meant to hurt you with this because of the jealousy that's involved. And really, I think this just turned back around on whoever did this. This person doesn't have a heart, this manipulator, so I don't know what that tower moment would feel like to them. Just maybe like an electrical shock in the tin can that is their rib cage. But yeah, I don't know. It was my fault, but I blamed you. And it had to do with procedures and like the way that they deal with things. Even if this is a social connection, there's a way that you handle yourself in a social connection with somebody that you already have like something here was established between you and this person. There's a way that you handle yourself with somebody that you are established with and that you have a connection with. And that did not go on here. And that's what they were hiding in the past. Okay, I get it. That's what they were hiding in the past. That they were conflicted, that there was maybe an argument going on about you, that you were being accused of something by a rival and someone who was competitive. But they didn't think about it like that. They thought, oh my gosh, when this person's asshole's flapping around the room, all I smell is roses. That's what they thought. Illusions and delusions. Please forgive me. I know I messed up. This person does feel sorry. Please forgive me. I know I messed up. It keeps coming out. Anything else? And then I'm going to move on from this pile. We need to let each other go and please give me a second chance. I feel like this is you. You're like, I'm not being treated this way again. I think you also find it not just like wrong, but disgusting. And like it's offensive to you, the way that this other person was seen and the way that this other person was treated. And I just want to tell you that it's envy. It's just entirely envy. Why this person was given the benefit of the doubt over you. Why this person was seen in a positive light over you. It just feels like it was entirely envy in both of these people. And one was excusing it with the other one. You know, I think this person was around you longer and kind of like kept it tucked back. And then this person entered the scene and this was like a tinderbox kind of a moment. So this was the tinderbox and this was the match. That's what it was. But it was just envy. Because I think you probably beat yourself up about this for a long time. Why am I not believed? Why am I being treated this way? Why am I not being looped into conversations or decisions that affect me? Or, you know, I'm fair to other people. Why am I not being treated in a fair way? And I think that you really bullied yourself is what I'm hearing. You really beat yourself up. You were very confused because I think that you were under the impression that you were dealing with people or this person that was like mature and held some kind of wisdom. And then for them to fall for this and also for the procedures to not, that's what it feels like. For the procedures to not have gone a certain way, it really shows a lack of character, a lack of moral decency, and a lack of this wisdom that you thought this person had. And like observation, I think you felt that this person was more observant than to like fall for this. And then it turns out that they weren't, and they were blindsided or they were like blinded. And the reason is because of it's something egotistical is what I'm hearing. This person's actually more egotistical than you realized. And they wanted something for themselves and they were jealous of you. And I think something about you, even though you weren't trying to, and you're I can just feel it in your energy. You're just very, very well-intentioned person. But maybe also talented. Well, this person had a problem with that because it made them feel threatened internally. And they took it out on you is what it was. They just needed an excuse to whack you one energetically. And they needed it to be excusable. That's all this person really wanted on some kind of subconscious level is to be able to whack you one in the face energetically. And because you made them feel threatened in some kind of way. And so when it came along, they took it and they didn't question it at all. And I feel like this was maybe a bloodbath, very brutal is what I'm getting. And this person probably has a lot of soul searching to do. One of these people is actually doing it. I don't know that there's much hope for this person. I mean, this is somebody you just got to ask Jesus about, you know, but that's what I have for pile number 1. It was my fault, but I blamed you. This person's realizing that in a lot of ways. All right. They were feeling insecure, so they believed it easily. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. This person really got taken for a ride, but also they have no excuse because the writing was so very much on the wall here. If any, like eyes, ears, like if any of their senses, because especially sight and smell, I don't know what, like those are really coming through, sight and smell. If they were online, this person never would have believed anything that this person was selling. Even if they just had the decency to treat your relationship with dignity or to go through some kind of like procedure, none of this would have ever occurred. And I think that's what you can't forgive because this person acts like they're mature. This person acts like they're observant and that they have wisdom. And so they should at the very least have enough wisdom to go through like a procedure or something that they know they owe you, to be fair. They're all immature. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to put this back up, y'all. We just finished pile number 1, which is Kairos. And then we're moving on to the Siren if you're new. If you just joined us, you joined us at the right time because we're just getting ready to go into another pile. Oh, yeah. Isolation tactics. Yeah. I was believing in the potential of him rather than why they would excuse workplace harassers and liars. Yeah. Oh, yuck. Under pressure, impression. Boy, bay. All right. Common Darvo tactics. Yes. Okay. I'm going to put my lip gloss on. We're going to compassion, and then we'll move on to pile number 2 and find out what that person's hiding. Nikki, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, girl. Once someone ghosts, it's hard to see true them seriously. Yeah, I agree. All right. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling ready to just jump right in here to pile number 2. So let us do that, shall we? Pile number 2. Going straight for this to your emotional deck. Okay, so what is pile number 2 hiding? Oh my gosh, I just saw Jezebel and Love Child. Under the guise of romance. Oh gosh. What is this person hiding? This person could have a love child that they're maybe hiding from you. Or they want one. This person can be careful. Watch this person. Hammering. What is this person hiding, Spirit? For some of you, I feel like there's a pregnancy here. But let me just see. Or that they want to get pregnant. Or they want to get you pregnant. What is... Oh my gosh. I just keep seeing things. Okay, so anyways, pile number 2. Workplace affair and karmic ties. They're hiding a workplace affair. Spiritual chaos, ego death, downward spiral, and spiritual awakening. Okay, so I feel like this karmic tie energy is like very much going with this siren energy, and I feel like somebody here wants to drag another person down into the depths. So if you're tempted by a workplace affair, I would be very leery about that, because I feel like it's just going to trigger this like downward spiral and this ego death, which, I mean, in the grand scheme of things might not be the worst thing, because I feel like probably like through hitting rock bottom, you're going to maybe achieve a spiritual awakening, but there's other ways to do that. I mean, you're on a tarot channel, so you have more conscious ways of connecting with spiritual awakening energy rather than just like diving headfirst into a 6-foot deep pool, you know? And I feel like that's what's going on here. So they are, but I feel for a lot of you, this person went in for a workplace affair and is now on a downward spiral. They're learning some kind of karmic lesson. We also have love hate. So it could be that now with you, that was love energy. Now it's like love hate. Or there could be a family born of this. And so now they love hate that family because they love their kids, of course, but then they hate the situation because it feels like there's a baby trap, to be honest. It feels like somebody here like intentionally wants to baby trap a person. I don't know if this happened to you, because people forget that men baby trap women. And especially with this workplace affair, like women who are like on the up and up in their workplace. Yeah. Although for some of you, if you're engaged in a workplace affair and you're wondering, somebody here could be hiding that they've seen this. So I don't know exactly the way that this goes, because it feels like, okay, there's a lot of, this is a situation where everybody's kind of hiding. Okay, so I feel like there's one person here who is like a siren energy. They are intending to like baby trap somebody or use their sexuality in some way to create some kind of like karmic tie or some kind of like love-hate situation. Somebody here is hiding the fact that they've engaged in a workplace affair with a karmic and now they hate themselves, and possibly like it's caused some strain in an actual relationship or in their actual like workplace because maybe they're being blackmailed. I don't know. Or baby trapped. Somebody else here is hiding that they know. So this has been seen. And it's either been seen by somebody who's in a relationship with one of these people, or by a boss or something, but somebody here has actually witnessed this. They've actually seen this. And, you know, this eye behind here looks like an animal to me of some kind, like a wolf or like a dog or something. So if it's a dog, that's like the loyalty kind of energy, but getting that it's that animalistic like impulse. They're actually holding back the urge of saying anything or admitting anything, because I feel like this person is getting their ducks in a row is what they're doing. They're like, if you're in a relationship with this person, they're like, okay, this person is the person with the checklist. This person's like, okay, I need to pack my stuff. I need to cancel my lease. They're not going to yell at you. Somebody here is like very actually mature. Their id is very much like in control by their ego here. And somebody else here might feel it, because I think that maybe that relationship has gone cold and they can feel. I just heard that Tate McRae song. It's like, you about to cut me out your life. I feel it. Just know that there's no second try. Oh yeah. If you want to go ahead and lie to me, get it all out now. That's fine with me. If I'm not enough for you, honestly, I hope you don't come back. Once you see that I'm better off, when you're all broke down and you're missing us, when you finally figure out just what you lost, I hope you don't come back. So like somebody here is like, yeah, and I'm hearing that part of the song where she's like, you haven't heard from me in forever, don't come back. When you find out there's nobody better, don't come back. Like that's, somebody here is like very mature and they have a lot of wisdom and they've pieced something together. They know. Somebody here, okay, also somebody a while ago got a personal reading from me asking about this question. And I remember I was really intimidated by this because nobody had ever asked me that before. And then we realized that he really was cheating on you, girl. Like that is, like she put everything together, like in her mind. She knew exactly what was going on. Her intuition was like, oh, I just got chills. Reckless love and sex. Yeah, this is just reckless. Somebody here means to use that as a means of getting ahead in their career. Maybe when they want to blackmail their boss. And maybe for some of you, you're not involved in the situation, but your work, you've been working really hard for your promotion. And you saw like two people sleeping together and you're like, oh my gosh, like that person's going to get the promotion because they're going to blackmail that person or whatever. And you're just making sure that you can leave. So I don't know like what's going on, but there's a lot being hidden here. True colors. I see your true colors. This, believe it or not, is a situation that's illuminating everybody's true colors. I don't know what I just did with the other card that I just had, but this is illuminating everyone's true colors because there's somebody here that is having a workplace affair, and they were giving the impression that they were like, I think loyal and wise or like mature, and that they kind of observed something here, but then they went in for this like workplace affair with this person. It's superficial between these two. Yeah, so it's exposing these two for who they are, and then this person for what they are, which is somebody who is actually they're loyal, but it doesn't mean that they're a doormat, you know? They're the ones that's actually wise. Oh, I think that's what it is, because whoever went in for this affair is kind of pretending like, oh, I'm wise, or I'm like this or that, but they're not wise enough not to involve themselves in something like this with a person like this who has every intention. This looked to me like a blood ruby or something. They want to draw blood. I feel this person really wants pregnant, or wants to get you pregnant because maybe you're succeeding in your career or something. But whoever's being cheated on, or whoever these is not going to get the promotion because these two people are sleeping with each other. This is the real person who should be running the show. This is the real powerhouse. It's illuminating that for everybody involved in this situation. Because everybody here is like hiding things, but like for different reasons. Okay. Look, shapeshifter. So the service card just came out. And it was like delight in serving people with a joyous like heart. I feel like everybody here seems maybe that way. Or maybe this is like a service-oriented job or something, but not everybody really is that way. So this is something that is like illuminating the truth of that situation. Then shapeshifter. So this person who I'm so impressed by in this situation, who is like, okay, we will cry later. Okay, what do you need to like get your stuff together? Like that's the real powerhouse. This person, skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. Remember, somebody said, I just saw their potential. So I feel like, yeah, maybe this person, for some of you, this is like a workplace, and somebody here was like really actually doing the work, and they believed this person, and maybe they saw the potential in this person. They were helping them. Turns out they were sleeping with the boss the whole time. Because that's not the way that they're going to level up. You know, I don't know. from the other day about 2 motives for having a family. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up. RSPY, rispy. You're so rispy. Is that what the kids say? No, it's crispy. No, it's Riz. Okay. I'm officially 89 years old. That's what that made me think of. Anyways, yeah. So she said we might be baby trapping each other. Or no. There was something else. The channeling from the other day about the 2 motives for having a family has been key. There's 2 motives for maybe having a family here. Yeah. Trickster. So let's see. What's the tea? Yeah, what's the tea? So what is this person hiding, Spirit? We should change it to Rispy. Oh my gosh, boss daddy. Spiritual hater. Hates on your spirituality, light, magic, and power. Look, this is the same colors as this Siren energy. Somebody wants to bring you down. Marrying for money. Somebody wants to bring down this boss daddy. And this boss daddy might be a woman. Or somebody here wants to say that you're marrying for money, but it's so that they can weasel their way in and actually get, like, start an affair and baby trap somebody for money. Oh, this is, ugh. Okay, anything else that these people are hiding? I mean, when people hide stuff like this, it's like they're hiding, this person has to hide everything about themselves, right? In order for this, like, in order for their little weasel act to work, they're hiding everything about themselves. If they're hiding wanting to baby trap you, they're hiding everything about themselves. They're trying to get themselves in position to be able to do that. So they'll just be whoever you want for this is devil energy, like just as a temptation force or anything. The way you tell the truth. Okay, look, talking shit. They're hiding that they're talking shit. Haunted, memories, flashback, trauma, and side effects. So if this is already played out for somebody, because I don't know where you're at in the timeline, then I feel like, again, this Siren energy was trying to like badmouth you. And I feel like there's 3 people here. And 2 of the people show up as this Kairos. One is a fake, and they might not even realize that about themselves. This is the person that's involved with this Siren energy. And maybe fake is too harsh of a word, because maybe this is just exploiting a weakness in this person that they really need to see. They're not as wise as they thought. They're not as observant as they thought. They're selfish. So I feel like there's gossip. These 2 lay up in the bed and talk about the people who are actually positive. Like whether this is a work situation, like, oh, that person that does all the work, they talk about them negatively so that this person can get what they want. But then there's another group here where, yeah, I feel like they're haunted. They're haunted by the gossip that's gone on here. Or if this was an affair, then this reminds me of that TikTok that I saw where one woman was like, you know what scares me about having been cheated on is like the woman that he's cheating on you with knows everything about you. She knows where you work. She knows what upsets your stomach, like that you take allergy medicine for this or that, like, because they lay up in the bed and the 2 of them talk about you. That's what they talk about. They know everything about you. You don't even know she exists. Because girl, why should you? But like, you don't know that she exists. And she knows every little thing about you because they don't have anything else to talk about but you. Because it's fueled by like hate and animosity. But somebody here's like haunted by this. There also could be something Halloween time or like fall time. Something about like pumpkin picking. I just heard Peter Pumpkin Eater had a wife and couldn't keep her. Fake smiles. Yeah, everything about this person here is fake. And this person having involved with them, now they're fake. Now they're fake smiling to you. They're gossiping behind your back. They're cheating with this person at work or if this is a romantic thing. And they're fake smiling to your face, gossiping about you behind your back. Ugh, I would be haunted by this too. Because, again, ugh, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. It's just, ugh. Yeah, it's something here is like played out. What else is they're hiding here? Fake accounts. I just heard bank accounts. So they're hiding something. They could have another account here that's being hidden. Some kind of bank account or like a fake account. Somebody here could be faking, like, if you ask to see somebody like bank statements or stuff, they could be forging that so that they're hiding certain purchases and things that they're doing. This to me looks like an affair. They're liars by nature. And they're cheaters and they're thieves. By nature, you can't be a cheater without first being a thief and also being a liar. Almost entirely while you're engaged in that situation. It doesn't exist, which is why be very wary of it's hard to walk the line here because we all have emotions. Okay. So if you find yourself, I've read for a lot of people like this. I found myself attracted to this married person. Please help me. I've never felt this way before. That I really appreciate, because you can't really help who you're attracted to. And there could be some kind of karma that you're trying to work out there. Well, great. Let's process it on the back end, and don't just jump into it. But it'd be very wary of people who tell you it's a spiritual thing to have an affair on somebody, because you cannot do that without dipping your energy. You have to lie. You have to cheat. You have to steal for the entirety that you're in it. And I mean the entirety that you're in that relationship. Because if that's going to even continue on after this other relationship is broken, aren't you still embarrassed about the way that the two of you got together? So every time you're asked at a dinner party, every time your kids ask, like, aren't you white lying to make both of you seem better? And isn't that what you do in your own brains the entire time that you're doing this? You white lie to yourself about the other person to make them seem better. So that's a ding in your vibrations. You have to lower your vibrations. Tasha, thank you so much for the super chat. Yes, she cheated with my friend, and that's why I don't want her back. I don't blame you. She sounds like a real peach. Okay, okay, I don't know, because this one, I feel like it could go on forever, because like I said, like once you're in this energy, like what are you not going to lie about? But let's just see, like, what else? What are they hiding? Yeah, I mean, this choice that this person feels like torn up by a choice here. The 10 of Pentacles. Look, the Justice card. It's a karmic choice of this Ace of Wands, which is this Siren energy that's coming in. They're hiding that they're juggling. They're hiding that they're juggling. What else are they hiding? Yeah, somebody here did this on purpose. This like tower moment. It was a plan. But again, this looks like collusion to me. And it seems like maybe this emperor was trying to like navigate around it so that he could make this choice. And it doesn't have to be he. I'm saying he because it's the emperor card, but this could be a woman. So this person who was like playing both sides, right? There's somebody playing both sides. There's a tempter that's come in, and there's the real deal over here. And so I feel like the person who's stuck in the middle is trying to get strategic so that they can be able to make their decision in peace. This person doesn't want that. This tempter energy wants a tower moment. And this other person, I think wants out. Wants like a fresh new beginning. Yeah, where they can rebuild and like have some kind of healthier routine. And they don't want somebody else, this other person does not want to be involved in something like this. They want to just be able to trust. They want things to just be as they are, like as they're seeing them, kind of a thing. They don't want to have to be like, okay, so you said that you're nice and trustworthy, but then this, so what's going on? They don't want to have to do that. Okay, anything else? Yeah. Yeah, there's just hiding, sneaking around, and a strategy to introduce competition here. Again, I'm hearing playing both sides against the middle. And potentially to be able to pop out on the scene with this affair partner as a legitimate relationship when it's not. Like, that's what I'm saying. The lies will continue because this isn't legitimate. I don't think I'm going to stick in this energy very much longer. Is there anything? Oh my gosh. I literally just did that and I saw the 4 of Pentacles and the High Priestess. Somebody here is like, they're feeling very defensive about me, even like tapping into this energy, because this is the kind of people that do a lot of fuck shit behind the scenes. And this is the kind of people who just want to present themselves as the image. Both of these people are like this. One might be like more forward leaning with it, but the other person, as soon as they have the opportunity to do that, is more forward leaning with it. So they're hiding that they don't like tarot. They don't like intuition. They don't like people who can see through their bullshit. Because these people just only care about this air of superficiality. I'm just getting this real opium den kind of vibe here. This like perfumey, that's all they care about. Is the image. All they care about is the image. That's what they're hiding, that all they care about is the image. And being able to blame this other person. So again, for some of you, this isn't romantic and this is like a job thing where these two people are sleeping together. Somebody's going to get the promotion over you, but they're planning to point the finger at you. They're planning to put the blame. This is as evil as it gets. It's sticky. It's Jabba the Hutt. It's like they're planning on turning people against you or something, like, because they are lacking. They're morally lacking, and also maybe because they want the money. So like if this is a relationship, they want to get the money. And so they feel like they got to put the blame on you for the affair. So if this is like, yeah, if it's a divorce situation, in court, they want to be able to, they know that nothing's going to be a bigger bad in the room than what they're doing. They know that. So the strategy, and they might want to ambush you with some kind of tower moment. And it could be an outright fucking lie with these two, because to cheat, you are automatically a liar and a thief. And that's just going to continue to play out with these two. Lord help me and my blood pressure. Yes, they want a decision to go in their favor, and they want it to be cut and dry. These are liars. These are liars, and they don't deserve a goddamn thing except a swift kick in the ass. Let's compassion. Thank you. But can someone else do it? Someone else compassion these people. My gosh, they want to manipulate so that everything just looks like happy here. They want to act like they're being transparent as well. They want to put you in a position where you make the decision. And I think they want to put you in a position where you potentially, you're tempted to do something, and I don't think it's an affair or something, but you would be tempted to do something that would give them photographic evidence that they can misconstrue, or something that would, they're wanting to tempt you into doing something that would defame your character. This is reactive abuse. That's what it is. That's what it is. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so glad that I didn't give up on this pile, because I kind of wanted to be like, okay, so these people are cheating, so they're hiding a lot. Like, let's just move on from this. But I feel like that's another thing that maybe they're hiding here, is like the pain of it, where you just like want to be done. You're just like, oh my gosh, like, and you don't want to really look into this. But there's more going on, because I feel like you would just want away from this energy, but they're trying to win maybe something to do with kids, something to do with the past, something to do with a friendship. Okay, so they could be trying to misconstrue your friendship with somebody else as being the reason why they cheated, saying that you had an affair first. They might be trying to paint a friendship that you have with somebody as an affair, or as, I don't know if this is a work situation, as, I don't know, something inappropriate. Yeah, and for some of you, this might not even be like in a court system. It could be for somebody that like has money, or has some kind of like an inheritance to give, or like your mom, or like your dad, or somebody that's like a matriarch or a patriarch of your family. They slandered and defamed me. Yeah, there was a plan to do it as well. Why are these people doing this? I mean, besides their character is really just standing out, their character. And the fact that they're the ones doing the dastardly deeds here. What else are they hiding? Some kind of long-term plan. It could be something to do with a party, a gathering, a get-together. Yeah, some kind of temptation there. Either that they're wanting to go to that, they're hiding that they're wanting to go to some kind of, I don't know, so that they can be out, in public with their affair and not feel a type of way, or they maybe want to get you there. What do these people want from you? They want to confuse you maybe about your options, or they want to confuse somebody here. Possibly to do with a child. Maybe they want to obscure the timeline of a child here. Remember I was talking about a baby trap?
They want you not to see this. Yeah, potentially while they go build something. Or like go after something here. Go to a party, a reunion, where maybe they're going to meet up with somebody here. But I feel like everybody here's hiding something, and I feel like if you're the person being cheated on, then you're hiding that you're closing this chapter. You could accidentally, I think that you didn't know about some kind of party or something here. But I do think there's some kind of message coming in that is helping you put something together. And it feels like you have some kind of divine assistance with this as well. So it could be like a tarot message, but it also could be that something accidentally occurs because you've been raising in your vibration. Something accidentally occurs that makes you aware of something here so that you can close, so that you can put some kind of blockage so you can block this. And possibly even use an authority to block this as well. Yeah, and then you're going to get what's coming in for you. So don't fret if this is you, but I think I'm going to leave that there because the energy is so bad. I'm so sorry if you were involved with these people. This is truly treacherous. Truly, truly treacherous. And we have compassion for everybody in their story and on their journey, but man, it's hard. This kind of person is the hardest for me because there is an awareness of what they're doing. There's a sadistic quality to it for both of these people. There's a taking pleasure in the sneaking around and the harming and the disenfranchising of another person in their own life story, in their own, to do with their own like decisions and stuff. There's just a desire from the beginning to take, and to just navigate something here. It's the hardest for me to have compassion because compassion is like when somebody makes a mistake, that everybody kind of stumbles and they fall. This is a weird kind of mistake for me because it's so lucid. On the 3D, they're not making a mistake. They're enacting a plan. They're bringing something to fruition, so it's not a mistake. So do you hold compassion for someone who is sadistic? I'm not sure. I think maybe on a grander scale, the soul is making a mistake because it thinks that this is the way to navigate through its life. And maybe that's like more of an existential kind of cosmic mistake. But this is absolutely intended by somebody here. There's just a lucidity here that unnerves me. That's what I don't like about it. There's an awareness, there's an intent, not only to do whatever they are doing, but then to hide it and then to maybe even blame you, the truly innocent party, the person who's been victimized in this situation. I don't like it. So, all right. So I guess we'll leave that there, that existential question kind of hanging in the air. But, all right. So that was pile number 2. What are they hiding? One can still hold compassion without enabling resistance to accountability, I think. Yeah, that's true. Successfully working on it. I know a guy that jokes all the time about cheating and he's so open about it. Take a break before pile 3, Jess. Yeah. No, I don't have compassion for them. Yes, they plan. They know and make a conscious choice to do these things. So I learned the hard way not to give them an inch, not one, ever. Yeah, I mean, I think definitely, and I think that's one thing I've had to learn about compassion too, because I think a lot of us in our religious traditions, and especially as women, like we're taught that that holding compassion for somebody else means disregarding ourselves and like not having compassion for our own experience. And I think this is like I have compassion for you, but just like over there, kind of a thing. Chapter closed. Mystical High Priestess, thank you so much for the super chat. Happy Friday. Okay, I'm just like taking a little bit of a break before we get into pile number 3. I'll put the choices up here. We just did piles number 1 and pile number 2, and we're moving on to pile number 3, which is the dead end. And somebody said I should take a break before pile 3, and I think that's true. I need a little palate cleanser. Aw, thanks. Compassion. And you know, like sometimes I think for me too, it's like self-awareness can lead a lot into it, because like how I said in that reading where it's like, can somebody else do it? Like, can somebody else hold compassion for this person? Because I'm not really feeling up to it right now. And at least like we can bow out of certain situations where it's like, well, I'm not capable of neutrality in this situation, or I'm really not capable of compassion right now because I'm clearly triggered. And I don't, the energy in pile number 2 is the energy that I think I dislike the least, like on the planet. So, well, I don't know. There's so many ones to choose from, but I hope they are bewildered by their dastardly comeuppance. Yes. I hope they are bewildered by their dastardly comeuppance. That sounds very like a good comeback in a drama. What are my guides hiding after that pile? Good morning. Aw. Pile 3 might be a good one. The first 2 looked good on the surface, but they were ghastly underneath. I love Jess's accents. There's truth and humor. So true. Aw. The Bayou, thank you so much for the super chat. Finally made it to escape. It's not perfect, but spirit will help. I know it. Yep. Aw. Oh. Oh my gosh. I'll have to do it. Random, I know, but I'm being intuitively guided to say it. No great children custody attorneys in Florida. Hopefully the dead end us to the first 2 piles. Oh yeah, I forgot like about the bow being tied up. Okay. So let me just take one more drink here. I'll put my gloss on and then we'll move on to pile number 3, and maybe they're hiding a puppy for you. Oops. Pile number 3 better be something nice. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I'm cut out for political office. I mean, I have opinions. I definitely do. Actually, I think I would be good at it. Because I'm very stubborn. Because I think that people, if you take a political office, I think that you have to be prepared for a lot of bad stuff to happen to you. And I would hate it, but I think I would actually. Just because I don't like it when people get like taken advantage of and stuff. So, I don't know. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Alex just showed me the drawing. I don't know how to put it up here, but you are because you don't think you are. That's probably true. I don't do politics. I do justice. Julie, run for office, and that should be your slogan. And you should have a cape. Okay. So that's our choices. If you're here, we're going into pile number 3, which is the dead end. And then we're going to do bunny butt, which is, we've been reading about the different kinds of abusers. Just to finish with a nice happy note. Okay, so pile number 3. What are they hiding? Oh, I just got scared. You know the kind of, it's not scared, but you know, for some reason I just pictured the log ride. Do you have the log ride where you're at? It's like a fairly common ride in like water theme parks, where you get in the hollowed out log looking thing and they drag you up to the top and then you go down the big hill and it splashes. It doesn't really splash you, but like it splashes everyone else. And then you take your picture. For some reason I just saw that. So maybe this person is hiding an amusement park. Let me see. Yeah, water emojis. Part are reminding me of your reading heads up. Interesting. Please don't be the scary, confusing energy. I think that this is the way that you're feeling of like, oh no, what is this person hiding? Maybe because you really like them or something. I'm just picking out a deck here. Well, okay. Well, actually, no, this one. Okay, so what is this person hiding? Spirit for pile number 3. What's this person hiding? Oh my gosh, I feel like actually this person is, they're hiding that they're on like the verge of some kind of come up. Like actually like some kind of come up. Okay. Maybe this is you and you were like, oh my God, what am I hiding? Or like, what's spirit hiding for you? And somebody said in the chat, like before we were going from pile 2 to pile 3, they were like, what are my guides hiding after pile number 2? And I feel like, oh, I just got goosebumps. Oh, and it just felt like so loving. I feel like you have maybe closed a chapter here and it was really hard, or you've like made yourself like distance or something from a certain person you were told to. You were told to like stay away from someone or something, and you did. And I feel like because you're protecting your energy now, you're on the verge of some kind of like come up in your energy. And maybe that's why I saw the water park, like some kind of happiness. Yeah, maybe it's like childlike happiness or like okay, what is this person hiding? Okay, this person is, it goes 1, 2, 3 with this person. So there's like a dead end where they have like said no. Spirit was like, you need to say no to this person. They were like, no. And they took responsibility for their own self. And I feel like it's been really exhausting. I just heard another Tate McRae song. It's like, I never thought changing would be this exhausting. A foot on the brake, but it's been making me car sick. How could you blame me? Yeah, so this person is like, I think were made to feel responsible for things that were not their fault. They have taken responsibility for their involvement. I don't know if that reading has been released on the channel yet. Maybe it has been on Patreon. But there's one about like correcting your involvement. Like this person has corrected their involvement in something here, and they've removed themselves. They've pulled themselves out. It took a lot out of them. And I feel like there's like a grind energy here of like, I'm almost picturing like them dragging something like behind them. It's really, really heavy. And they're dragging it, but even though it sucks, it's like they took responsibility for it. Yeah. Because this person very much understands that like, just because something sucks doesn't mean that they should be in denial about the fact that it's theirs and that they do actually need to move it or like figure out how to move it, something like that. And so it exhausted them. This person is like taking a rest. Okay, so this is like a good, there's nothing wrong about that. They're healing. And because of that, then I feel like they're getting into like some kind of healthy routines. They're advancing in some type of way. They're becoming the empress. So even if this is a male, like this is a person who's becoming the empress, just very well-rounded, but they don't even see it in themselves. This is a person who doesn't even see it in themselves. They've just been so focused on what it is that they've had to do. Somebody here's watching though, and this could be these two people. So for some of you, this is like a storyline, like somehow pile number 1 and 2 and 3 are like kind of connected and they build on each other. Cause I'm kind of getting, this might be that weird couple that we get sometimes. That started off as an affair, and it's like, like that person's advancing. I'm supposed to advance, but this person's advancing, and this person's advancing here. Pile number 3 from the inside out, like truly from the inside out. And it's like they're the last person to see it. I think they've gotten clarification on some type of wound, and that could even be maybe this person's like going to therapy or something with the Queen of Swords. Because to me, the Queen of Swords can be like a professional, somebody who is able to look. Yeah, there's somebody in their life that's actually very protective of them. And it's like this Queen of Swords, but it's of the mind. So this could be like a therapist or somebody, or even I just heard a sister, some kind of sister energy that has a lot of compassion actually for like what this person's been through, because I've never noticed this before, but she almost looks like she's been crying, like the tear stains. Oh, but it's looked like really faded. So the Queen of Swords has become the Queen of Swords because of what she's been through, because of some kind of emotional pain. And this person, it's like, I just heard, I ain't got no tears left to cry. So maybe that's the advancement that this person's on, is that they are turning their pain into power is what I'm getting. And they could be educating themselves on, like, they felt everything that they needed to feel, but they are learning about something from like a logical sense, or like they're naming certain things, and they have help in doing this. And this, whoever this is, and this could be a guide as well, because there's like spirit guide energy here, or this guide has like brought them to these two people together or something. Yeah, because there's like the Watcher, but this feels very protective. There's like a few people watching this person. It's because they're in a transition. And it's like the culmination of all their hard work. This feels like a soul that's blooming, and they're at a rare time in like a soul's advancement. Not all souls live through this in every lifetime, but it feels like something here's blooming into a culmination. And so I do feel like this person has several people watching them, and for whatever reason, okay, because I think it might be out of spite, envy. It's this reconciliation of who this person was accused of being versus who they actually are. But this person's like on a culmination spiritually. It feels like they're about ready to bloom or something, like on a spiritual level. And yeah, this is kind of mirroring. Here's this fucked up couple. We are disgusting. We are disgusting. We are disgusting. Da-da. But how dare you look at us? And I'm going to guardian this person who's clearly a victim. Victim, rescuer, persecutor. Victim, rescuer, persecutor. Victim, rescuer. Sorry if that was intense. But that's, they maybe want like some kind of new beginning or something like that. I don't know, but this person's transitioning away from it. There's like a culmination of maybe this is like a powerful karmic cycle is what I'm getting. This person has put the kibosh on, like, they did what they were told. I'm hearing they did what they were told to do. And they put up a block here. They were told to put up a block. It really feels like don't communicate with these people. That's what I'm hearing. Don't. It's a waste of breath to communicate with these people because these people talk and they don't listen. These people, it's constant out here and never here. So they don't really have anything of value to say. BT, thank you so much for the super chat. I relied so heavily on my sister who has gone through the same thing I'm going through now. Everything has been an uphill battle. Thank you for reminding me to keep my head up. And with a melody. Yes. And also, like, not to make these people like too scary in your mind. Like, just picture me with the card, like, we are disgusting. We are disgusting. Because I can feel the bullying energy behind these two. And then they feel like, oh, well, you should have sympathy for her because she's really been through a lot. And it's like, I'm sorry. Was she not the person who, like, with a vengeance plotted to upend my life? And I had to be graceful and tactful through that. And then also now I've got to be, you know what? Eat shit. I'm so sorry. I get so riled up. I don't mean that. It's just, I don't like these people. See, this is why I say I'm not a spiritual teacher, is because I struggle. There's a lot of people that it's like, I struggle to hold compassion for. Anyways. So this person is on like a new come up. Tell me about it. I just heard, tell me about it. Okay. What is this new come up? I feel like they're leaving sorrow behind. Look, the sun, vitality. The clouds are like getting ready to break here. So I feel like they feel good in their body. They're happy. They could be going places that it's like very, very sunny. And if there was something that they thought they had to deal with, I feel like with the Five of Hearts, like this sorrow energy, if there was something that they thought they had to deal with, this is being firmly placed on like the right people's plates that they should be the one to kind of like deal with it. This person's having a rebirth. They're having some kind of like new beginning. And also there's somebody from their past, this King of Stars, who was probably the king of freaking wands, that was like a player, cheated on them or whatever. They're realizing that this person's their Two of Cups, but this person's out of reach. And I think Spirit was like, I've got you. Keep going. Like, be out of reach. Don't allow this person to suck you back into their BS, their nonsense, their drama. This third party situation, because this person was never going to do you right because of the nature of this individual, the nature of who they are and how they respond and how they behave. This is somebody that they lack receptivity. They feel receptivity is like maybe a feminine trait. This is maybe a misogynist, but this is somebody who just doesn't, they don't let things land. I'm glad, Lynn. Oh yeah, maybe it's whatever she was being framed for. Like, yeah, exactly. Okay, so what else? Tell me about this happy new beginning. I feel like they have got more control over themselves or over their life, their existence. Look, joy. Look, breakthrough in terms of like feeling joy and feeling this like really heart-centered joy. And it also feels like there's people around this person, and it doesn't necessarily feel romantic, although I think that there might be a friend here that like maybe turns romantic, and these people like end up getting married or something. But there's like pets and like friends and stuff. Like there's like a real sense of joy. And I feel like somebody here is like watching this from the sidelines and possibly feeling very, they're sneaking around watching this. There's different people from this person's past that I think are like watching this in some capacity. And I don't know on the 3D why they think they're watching this. And I think it's because they feel jealousy. They want to tear this person down because this person's succeeding and actually doing well and claiming their truth and like just being who they actually are puts things back on their plate. Remember I said that that's what's happening? They don't like that. They don't want to have to deal with who they actually are. And so I think these people actually might feel some type of way. And they're in this very abusive mindset that we've been talking about, like feeling very justified and maybe trying to start an argument with this person or whatever. But there's being limited. They're being blocked here. And it feels like by their circumstances, I want to say. These people could be having, these people are, it's kind of like the Chinese finger traps. Remember if you played with those as a kid, you put your fingers in there and then the more you struggle, try to get your fingers out, the less you can. That's what it feels like. It feels like the more that these people try to struggle towards this person in order to have a fight or to, in order to push things off of their plate again, just the tighter things get. And Spirit is like, stop moving towards this person because they did what they were told. I just keep hearing that. They did what they were told. It was difficult. It was actually very difficult for this person. But this isn't the kind of person that just says, because it's difficult, I shouldn't have to do it. This person's like, there's no use in arguing with it. I might as well just do it, get it over with. And now they're like at this beginning of this like new phase is what I'm getting. Yeah, I really feel like something here's being choked out. Like the weeds that were trying to like steal this person's nutrient in their soil are being like choked out in some kind of way. Somebody here, I feel like there's this King of Wands is being made to take responsibility. He needed to turn a corner in his soul because I feel like this King of Wands, whoever this is, actually could have been there too. Like actually could have been on this trajectory as well and like could be at the top with this person too in some kind of way. If he had just done the things that the hard stuff that he needed to do as it was arising instead of like, I don't know, screwing it or like cavorting with it, whatever. And I think he's realizing that and actually crying, like having to cry and kind of having to now take responsibility for the fact that like he didn't do what he needed to do. I'm hearing like all aboard, like he didn't get aboard. Okay, anything else that this person's hiding? Rest. I feel like this person's getting a lot of rest and rejuvenation. This person, this is funny because I feel like it's being hidden from them actually. They have been, I'm just getting the sense of this person having been through like a marathon or something. And I'm seeing them kind of come out the woods and they're like all just like covered in mud. But actually when this person takes a shower, they're going to be like, I have 6-pack abs. Like, how did that happen? Like, my skin is glowing because they were covered in the mud, but it's like they did a mud mask, you know, like in the forest or something. Like whatever this was, it led to like health and restoration. And it feels like from the inside out. And I also, this person could be becoming like more beautiful or they're like really glowing, but they're like the last person to see it because they've just been so focused on like they were getting through the woods. Yeah, this person, like at first they're emerging like this like swamp monster of like, I've become one with the forest, you know, and they like come out, but like, and I feel like that's how they feel on the inside. But like really, once they just kind of shower all the mud, it's just surface. It's just like surface level. And once they shower all that off, they're actually like really cool and like pristine. And it's like they need a shower and they need a few days rest. But after they get that, I feel like this person is actually, this person may well bring a lot of clarification for somebody else. I really feel that these people might have like work in a professional capacity with assisting people or if it's not spiritually, I think it's professional. If it's not like an actual job, like they're going to be the sister. You know what I was talking about? Like the sister that was like helping, they're the sister where one of their friends is going to say something. And this person is actually not just insightful on an emotional front, but they remember the way. That's what I heard. They remember the way. And they're like, listen, there is a mean drop in the middle of that forest, okay? But after you fall on your ass 10 times in a row and you stand back up, okay? The hard part is over. Just know that's the hard part and the hard part is over. And then it's just one foot in front of the other. And then when you finally emerge on the edge of that forest and you feel like a swamp monster, just know it's not over And actually what's beneath that, when you just hose yourself off, is something really beautiful and something no one can ever take away from you. This person knows it from the inside out. And there's so many people I've noticed that try to mimic these kind of talking points that we talk about, that we've gone through this all together. But it's hollow. And they also say messed up stuff. The stuff that matters, these people will misconstrue and they will mislead. And it matters. But not this person. This person remembers the way. And so the little hinge points, this person will get right on track and they will assist others out of their quagmire, is what I'm hearing. And we just keep doing that for each other. Ram Dass says we're all walking each other home. This person is just, they walked themselves home. They're walking other people home. They're just taking their part in that dance. And I feel like there's, I'm getting, like, this person may have like a vacation that they're going to take. This person may get a raise. This person may get a promotion. This person may also, they could have a mentor, but this doesn't feel like the therapist kind of mentor. This feels like maybe in career, or somebody wants to take them under their wing in some kind of capacity. Peaceful warrior. Somebody here is observing this person's skill. Somebody who's also been through it. Somebody who's quiet, and they see what's not spoken. Like they see, this is somebody, this king of angels, this could be the soulmate that's coming in. I feel like there is a soulmate that's coming in. You know what this reminds me of? This is like kind of an obscure reference. It's a character. His name's Lincoln. And he is in the Marvel series. It was a TV show that I watched with Sky. She was Daisy.
You're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Remember Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And like in the beginning, there was Ward, who was obsessed with Sky, and it was like weird. It got to be really creepy. But at first you thought it was like a real love. Maybe this like mimics that. But then there was Lincoln. So after Daisy got her magical powers, where she could feel atoms and like vibrations and like mountains and stuff, Lincoln was this like alien doctor. I don't think he was an alien, but you know, he was like this other species. And so he was there when she woke up in this place where they help assist people in adjusting to being whatever they were, you know, aliens or whatever. This is kind of reminds me of Lincoln, who is like, he's been through it before. So somebody here is watching you and your skill and like your development and your dedication and your hard work. And this could be a boss. This is someone who's a bit melancholic. Like they're sad a little bit, but I think maybe the two of you are going to go on the journey together. And also this is coming in for this person. That's what they're hiding. Okay. So for some of you where you were like, oh no, I really like this person. Like, what are they hiding? I feel like there's a mirroring between you and this person where they're seeing you, and then you guys are going to go on this like journey or adventure together, and it's going stability. You're going to have stability between the two of you. Wow. So yeah. And then dreamer. Some may say that I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I feel like you're going to realize that you're not the only one. So that's what this person's hiding. They're ascending in some way. They are getting some kind of come up. And this is very much in the 3D that they don't see for themselves. I feel like they're going to experience joy. They're going to have people around them that are happy and supportive. And there's somebody around them that's very much noticing them. And they're noticing little things that you could never encapsulate like on a resume, or you could never try to advertise, you know, like somebody here notices the little things about a person because they've been through it themselves and they know it when they see it. And that could be at their place of work, or that could be in terms of like a relationship partner, because I feel like somebody here is kind of coming in from the outskirts, and I feel like these two are going to ascend together, and that's either in a job way or a love way. And they are getting Jupiter, abundance. Yeah. It might even be under the illusion of like them pulling their energy back. And that's why there's this feeling of them hiding something, because it looks like this person's like withdrawing from something, but actually there's like a lot of happiness. They're withdrawing from what they were told to withdraw from. But that's not all there is in the world. This person exists somewhere out there in the world, and wherever they exist, it's happy. Like behind that wall, it's happy, it's growing, it's abundant, it's ascending, it's healing. And I feel like there could even be a healer that's coming in to assist them in some, mysticism. This person, it feels like they're connecting in their spirituality deeper than they actually ever have. And this feels really good. I feel like this person can hardly believe that things are going to get better, but they are going to get better. Yeah, and I feel like it's almost a tower moment. And I feel like this is starting a ripple effect back through. Like it's tower moments for people who treated this person badly, and who tried to obscure this person in their own mind and to others in order to get away with their own bad behavior and to try to come out on top in some way. And that it's tower moments for them. But I feel like there's a tower moment that's a positive coming in for this person. And it's like, wait, I'm getting promoted, or like, wait, I'm getting abundance, or wait, all of a sudden I met my person. Like there's something here like that. There's something here like that. Advancement. And this is the happy marriage card as well. And joy. Yeah, comfort and joy. I just heard comfort and joy. Tidings of comfort and joy is coming into this pile. And I think I'm going to leave that there because it's pretty beautiful. This is a beautiful energy. Wow. Thank goodness. Thank goodness gracious me, oh my, for that happy ending. Jupiter was in Cancer when I was born too, except retrograde. Oh. So usually that can mean that in the past life there was some kind of maybe an issue with a guru, somebody that was sent to teach you something. Oh yeah, they had like the higher cup. So maybe you've like corrected that, and then because if you do, then Jupiter exalts in Cancer. So that's some really great energy that's coming in. And your expansion happens within. Yeah. Welcoming in the channeled messages. Yeah. Okay. I'm starting to feel the good more and more. And I was a bit concerned that someone was hiding something, and boom, Jessie came with the truth. Yeah. It's funny because I think that pile 3 was like used to the floor falling out. They were used to the soggy taco and the bottom just like falling out. But I feel like that their time of having soggy tacos is over. They've had enough soggy tacos. Nothing but the crunch for these people. Sorry. I'm sorry. He said, okay. All right. So let us move on to the bunny butt. And we're reading about like the types of abusers. Remember? So brace yourself for that. Okay. But I keep forgetting to do the bunny butt. Bunny butt. Bunny, bunny, bunny butt. Bunny butt. Bunny, bunny, bunny butt. Bunny butt. Bunny, bunny butt. Okay. Oh my gosh, yes. The Crunchwrap Supreme. Oh my gosh, I could really go for that right now. I could always go for Mexican food. Oh my gosh, tried so hard Linkin Park. I forgot about, I used to listen to Linkin Park all the time and I forget about them, and then every time I remember them, it's a joy. Okay. Cutest butt ever. You guys are making me hungry. I know, right? Alex and I celebrate our anniversary this time of year. And I think we're talking about where we're going to go eat. I think we might have some sushi. But also I found this really cool Mexican restaurant that I've never been to. It's chicken themed. And I really want to go there. Okay, well, whatever. It's like cheesy and stuff. But anyway. Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, Linkin Park. Oh, yes. Okay, so let us get into this. Types of abusers. And we left off on the drill sergeant. Let me just find it here. Types of abusive men. So as a recap, or if you didn't catch us last week when we started doing this, this is from the book, Why Does He Do That? Inside the Minds of Angry and Controlling Men by Lundy Bancroft. And Lundy Bancroft is an expert in the field of psychology and in abuse, has like over 30 years of experience working in these therapeutic groups for controlling men. A lot of them were court mandated and came up kind of outlined, mapped in this Hecate kind of way, going in there with the torch, what the landscape of abuse kind of looks like. And the big takeaway is that abuse isn't so much an emotional wound, or it doesn't come from an emotional wound so much as it's a mindset. And that's the one thing that Lundy Bancroft says abusers don't want you to know about them, is that it is a mindset, because a mindset is very easily changed. A mindset, well, not easily changed, but a mindset can be changed. And a mindset is something that's within their control. And that abuse, a lot of times abusers want you to think that they're completely out of control and that they have, no control over their behaviors, their actions. They want you to think that they have a mental illness, or they want you to think that they have a sex addiction or something that accounts for their behavior, because it makes you feel sympathy for them, or the focus is, well, what help can I give you? What assistance can I give you if there's some kind of like underlying issue? But he found that most of the time with abusers, there's not an underlying issue. It's a mentality, it's a mindset. And that when they start acting out of control, actually they're very controlled in that, because most abusers, a lot of abusers, and this is like into the 90%, like what he's found, the 90% of the time, they'll turn it off when the cops get there. They are kind of scanning their surroundings. They know if they are going to get away with it or if they're not going to get away with it. So they're buttoned up. And that is a highly controlled person, not someone who is out of control. There's no excuse for their behavior, which is why they want to say that, oh, well, I was just out of control and I can't control myself, and therefore I should be excused. That should be considered as like a blip in the radar, not as like a part of an overall pattern, if that makes sense, So, okay. And so we talked about a couple. So the part of the book that we're reading is the types of abusive men, and we're just going through it a few at a time because there's a lot of them. And we're starting today with the drill sergeant. So the drill sergeant takes controlling behavior to its extreme, running his partner's life in every way that he can. He criticizes her clothing, tells her whether she can go out or not, interferes with her work. He wants her to have no one close to her, so he ruins her relationships with friends and relatives, or simply forbids her to see them. He may listen to her phone calls or read her mail, or require the children to report on her activities anytime he is away. If she isn't home by his appointed curfew at night, she is at risk for abuse. She feels like a little girl having to live with a tyrannical father with no more freedom than an 8-year-old would have. By the way, I forgot to mention that he says your person might fit neatly into one of these categories, or they might have traits from like all these categories, or you may have discovered a new category, because this is just the ones that he's mapped out. The drill sergeant is often fanatically jealous. He verbally assaults his partner with accusations that she is cheating on him or checking out other men, and tosses crass and disturbing sexual terms into his tirades. He may augment his hateful remarks about his partner with hideous comments about females in general, such as all women are whores. The emotional experience of these verbal attacks can be similar to that of an SA. The woman is left feeling violated, debased, and traumatized. At the same time, this style of abuser, more often than not, is out having affairs himself. It isn't fidelity he cares about, it's possession. The drill sergeant is, unfortunately, almost sure to be physically violent sooner or later, probably beginning with threats and then eventually escalating to assault. If his partner stands up to him, such as by attempting to preserve any of her rights to freedom, his violence and threats are likely to escalate until she is hurt or terrified enough that she submits to his control. He is at risk to beat his partner up to the point of severe injury. Getting away from the drill sergeant can be difficult, since he monitors the woman's movements so closely. It is a challenge for her to get to a support group for abused women or to seek other kinds of support. Since he isolates her from people, she has to draw entirely on her own strength, and many days she may feel like she doesn't have much strength left. And since from time to time he is probably openly violent, she is forced to consider what consequences of attempting to leave him could be, including whether he might try to kill her. If your partner is a drill sergeant, your situation is a dangerous one. You may have to use some courage, as well as careful vigilance, to even get an opportunity to read this book. Perhaps you are hiding it under a mattress or reading it at someone else's house in quick bits. Don't give up. Many women have gone through this kind of captivity and have found a way to escape, even if it takes some time. The single most important thing to do is seek opportunities to phone a hotline for abused women. See resources in the back of this book. Call them to speak for 5 minutes if that's all you can safely do for now. Call every day if you can. The hotline is the beginning of the path to freedom. You may be sorely tempted to have a secret affair since your partner shows you so little kindness or tenderness. A positive sexual connection may be especially affirming for you because of how sexually degrading the drill sergeant tends to be. But cheating on him can be deadly if he catches you. Consider holding off on seeing other men until you have gotten yourself safe. The drill sergeant often has some psychological problems. Although mental health issues do not cause abusiveness, they can intensify a man's violent tendencies. If he sometimes seems to become convinced of things that are obviously not true, has trouble getting along with people in general, was severely abused or neglected as a child, or has other indications of mental illness, you need to take even greater caution. To read more about dealing with dangerous abusers, see The Terrorist later in this chapter, and Leaving an Abuser Safely in Chapter 9. The central attitudes driving the drill sergeant are, I need to control your every move or you will do it wrong. I know the exact way that everything should be done. You shouldn't have anyone else or anything else in your life besides me. I'm going to watch you like a hawk to keep you from developing strength or independence. I love you more than anyone in the world, but you disgust me. Okay. That was the drill sergeant. I'm just going to take a drink. And then the next one is Mr. Sensitive. If you've ever been in a spiritual community, there's a lot of these Mr. Sensitive types around. All right. Mr. Sensitive appears to be the diametric opposite of the drill sergeant. He is often soft-spoken, gentle, and supportive when he isn't being abusive. He loves the language of feelings, openly shares his insecurities and fears, and his emotional injuries. He hugs other men. He may speak out about the absurdity of war or the need for men to get in touch with their feminine side. Perhaps he attends a men's group or goes on men's retreats. Often he has participated extensively in therapy or 12-step programs or reads all the big self-help books, so he speaks the language of popular psychology and introspection. I feel like we've picked up on this guy before. His vocabulary is sprinkled with jargon like developing closeness, working out our issues, and facing up to hard things about myself. He presents himself to women as an ally in the struggle against sex role limitations. To some women, he seems like a dream come true. So what's wrong with this picture? Nothing obvious yet, but this is exactly the problem. Mr. Sensitive wraps himself in one of the most persuasive covers a man can have. If you start to feel chronically mistreated by him, you are likely to assume that something is wrong with you. And if you complain about him to other people, they may think you must be spoiled. You have the new age man. What more do you want? The following dynamics are typical of a relationship with Mr. Sensitive and may help explain your feelings that something has gone awry. 1. You seem to be hurting his feelings constantly, though you aren't sure why, and he expects your attention to be focused only on his emotional injuries. If you're in a bad mood one day and say something unfair or insensitive, it won't be enough for you to give him a sincere apology and accept responsibility. He'll go on and on about it, expecting you to grovel as if you had treated him with profound cruelty. Notice the twist here. This is just what an abuser accuses his partner of doing to him, when all she is really looking for is a heartfelt "I'm sorry." 2. When your feelings are hurt, on the other hand, he will insist on brushing it over quickly. He may give you a stream of pop psychology language. Just let the feelings go through you. Don't hold on to them so much. It's all in the attitude you take towards life. No one can hurt you unless you let them. To substitute for genuine support for your feelings, especially if you are upset about something he did. None of these philosophies applies when you upset him, however. 3. With the passing of time, he increasingly casts the blame onto you for anything he is dissatisfied with in his own life. Your burden of guilt keeps growing. 4. He starts to exhibit a mean side that no one else ever sees and may even become threatening or intimidating. Mr. Sensitive has the potential to turn physically frightening, as any style of abuser can, no matter how much he may preach nonviolence. After an aggressive incident, he will speak of his actions as anger rather than as abuse. I remember picking up on that in a reading where I was like, anger and abuse are not the same thing. So he will speak of his actions as anger rather than abuse, as though there were no difference between the two. He blames his assaultive behavior on you or on his emotional issues, saying that his feelings were so deeply wounded that he had no other choice. Many people reject the possibility that Mr. Sensitive could be an abuser. I ran into this disbelief one weekend when I was leading a training course on emotional recovery, as I periodically do. My workshops focus partly on the healing effects of crying, and so tend to be attended by more women than men. The males who do come have included many of the most wonderful men it has been my good fortune to know, as well as a handful of the biggest manipulators. A few years ago, a participant named Deanna approached me anxiously before a workshop. She explained that an ex-partner of hers named Brad had called her a few days ahead of the workshop to tell her he was attending the same weekend. She was uncomfortable and told him that if he showed up, she would leave. He promised not to bother her, though, and said he would not bring up their relationship in any way. He was coming with his new girlfriend, which eased Deanna's worries. I spent some time talking with Brad at the workshop as the workshop was starting, without mentioning Deanna, and he seemed likable, kind, and what can I say, sensitive. However, I observed within a few hours that he was, in fact, speaking to other people about his past with Deanna and getting them riled up about her running away from their unresolved issues. On Sunday morning, he finally provoked a scene about the relationship in front of the full workshop, which was humiliating to Deanna. The story does not end there. I called a break and took Brad aside. I told him that it was my understanding that he had agreed not to raise the issues and that it had become obvious to me that he had come for the weekend with no intention of doing precisely what he had promised not to do. I went on to point out that he had taken Deanna's weekend away from her and that I considered this kind of power move to be abusive, especially since it was directed at an ex-partner. Lundy's got a sack on him. Saying the word abuse Saying the word abuse to an abusive person can be like lighting a tinderbox. When you name the unmentionable secret, he goes wild. Brad got loud, rolled his eyes at what a hysterical exaggerator he considered me to be, and adopted a victim stance, saying, "I beg you to stop this." Then came the most important part. He said in a screeching whine, "I have only put a hand on a partner once in my life, many years ago, and I just barely pushed her away from me, like this." He shoved me hard by the shoulder. After she called my mother a sick woman. Well, why was Brad denying a history of assault while actually admitting to one? When I hadn't said anything about violence. The possibility that he might be physically abusive had never occurred to me before, but it certainly did now. The signs were all there, bullying Deanna that weekend and then insisting it was for her own good, feeling entitled to ignore an important agreement, blaming his earlier girlfriend for his assault of her and minimizing it. The strength of the shove he gave me would have shaken up most women. I now doubted that the assaultive incident he had described was his only occasion of physically intimidating a woman. At this point, I required Brad to leave the workshop. I then had to deal with a mini insurrection from some of the other workshop participants who couldn't believe I was ejecting this gentle man who was so in touch with his feelings. He cries, after all. How could he be abusive? This gentle man style of abuser tends to be highly self-centered and demanding of emotional caring. He may not be the man who has a fit because dinner is late, but rather erupts because of some way his partner failed to sacrifice her own needs or interests to keep him content. He plays up how fragile he is to divert attention from the swath of destruction he leaves behind him. The central attitudes driving Mr. Sensitive are, "I'm against the macho men, so I couldn't be abusive. As long as I use a lot of psychobabble, no one's going to believe that I am mistreating you. I can control you by analyzing how your mind and emotions work and what issues you have from childhood. I can get inside your head whether you want me there or not. Nothing in the world is more important than my feelings. Women should be grateful for me not being like those other men." People are seeing their people in this. Okay, the next one is very interesting. It's the player. And this reminds me of the reading that came out not too long ago where cheating is abuse. So let me just take another little drink here. The how could he ever energy. Yeah. Okay. Ready for this one? Ready for this. Okay, the player. The player is usually good looking and often sexy, but sometimes he just thinks he is. I forgot about that sentence. I'm going to read it again because it's so good. The player is usually good looking and often sexy, but sometimes he just thinks he is. In the early part of a relationship, he seems head over heels in love and wants to spend as much time as possible in bed together. He's a pretty good lover. You may feel lucky that you have caught someone who knows how to turn you on and you feel proud to be seen with him. Your self-opinion gets a nice boost. After a while, though, a few things start to bother you. You notice that apart from sex, his interest in you is waning, and even his sexual energy is dropping off a little. He seems to lock eyes pretty hard onto women that walk by. He flirts with waitresses, clerks, or even friends of yours. Sexual undertones seem to run through most of his interactions with females, except for the ones he finds completely unattractive. Rumors start to come back to you that he's been seen with this woman, that he's sleeping with that one, that he's pursuing another one, but she isn't interested yet. At first, you discount these rumors as hurtful gossip, but after a while, you start to wonder. The player often starts to stall on moving in together or agreeing to be exclusive, even though earlier he couldn't wait to get serious. He may say that he's been hurt or has a fear of commitment, "I'm just not ready," but the real issue is that he doesn't want restrictions on his freedom. Much of his satisfaction in life comes from exploiting women and feeling like a sexual animal. Women around the player seem to get angry at each other a lot, rather than at him, and sometimes get into physical confrontations. These tensions work out well for him, diverting attention from his infidelity and dishonesty. He sets up this dynamic with some combination of the following tactics. 1. He knows how to make each woman feel that she is the special one, and yet at the same time keep her off balance, so that she never feels quite sure of where she stands with him. 2. He tells each one that the others are lying about their involvement with him because they are jealous of her, or because he turned them down, or because he used to be involved with them but isn't anymore. 3. He tells each one stories about how other women have mistreated him, or shares other bits of information largely invented to make previous or current women in his life sound conniving, vindictive, or addicted to substances. 4. He breaks up with women and gets back together with them so that no one can keep track of what's going on. 5. He includes 1 or 2 women in his circle who feel unattractive because he knows he can have more power over them and manipulates them into hating the women who are seen as more attractive. If this is your partner's style, you won't necessarily ever be sure whether he's really having sex with other women or if he just flirts because he enjoys the attention and likes you to feel threatened. He may hotly deny that he ever cheats and try to turn the tables by accusing you of being too suspicious. But even if he's telling the truth, which he probably isn't, his constant flirtatious behavior can be as damaging as actual affairs. Either way, he will damage your other relationships because you will start to perceive any woman as a potential threat to you. If he has a history of hitting on women who are close to you, such as your sister or best friend, you can end up isolated from the women you care about most because you're afraid he will have affairs with them unless you keep them away. Chronic infidelity is abuse in itself. Boom, right? Chronic infidelity is abuse in itself, but the player doesn't stop there. He is irresponsible, callous in dealing with his partner's feelings, and periodically verbally abusive. As the relationship progresses, he may start to go for long periods, giving his partner next to no attention and barely speaking to her so she feels shelved. He probably refuses to take responsibility for safe sex, such as using a condom, and he may have fathered children who he is not supporting. His abusiveness can escalate abruptly if he is confronted or caught in his infidelities, and he may turn physically frightening at this point. In a strange but dangerous twist, the player sometimes hits his partner for catching him cheating rather than the reverse. The player's constant flirting and cheating help him to get away with other forms of mistreatment. His partner is likely focused on her hurt feelings about his infidelities and pour effort into stopping him from straying, and in the process loses sight of his patterns of abuse. When she asks me whether I think her partner will ever settle down and be faithful to her, if they get married, for example, I answer, he may someday, but what you will have then is a faithful abuser. His promiscuity is a symptom of a deeper problem. He is incapable of taking women seriously as human beings rather than as playthings. I think I've said that before. With that mindset, he'll be a destructive partner, whether he cheats or not. The players I've worked with sometimes claim to suffer from sex addiction and join Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, which they may discover is a good place to pick up women. But sex addiction doesn't cause dishonesty, verbal abusiveness, or intimidating behavior. The player is not a sex addict at all. If he is addicted to anything, it's the thrill of using women without regard for the effects on them. The central attitudes driving the player are: women were put on this earth to have sex with men, especially me. Women who want sex are too loose, and women who refuse sex are uptight. It's not my fault that women find me irresistible. This is word-for-word quotation from a number of my clients. It's not fair to expect me to refuse temptation when it's all around me. Women seduce me sometimes, and I can't help it. If you act like you need anything from me, I'm going to ignore you. I'm in this relationship when it's convenient for me and when I feel like it. Women who want the non-sexual aspects of themselves appreciated are bitches. If you could meet my sexual needs, I wouldn't have to turn to other women. What a peach. There's an interesting conversation going on in the chat about lucid dreaming that I missed, but oh my gosh, Christina said this is P. Diddy, all the details of the trial. Okay, the next one is Rambo. The Rambo one came out in a Patreon reading, and I think it was the one last week's love reading. Maybe this will be the last one that we do today. Well, I don't know. It's very short. Maybe we'll do one more after this. I don't know. We'll just see how we feel. Okay, Rambo. Rambo is aggressive with everybody, not just his partner. He gets a thrill out of the sensation of intimidating people and strives to handle all of life's situations by subtly or overtly creating fear. He has an exaggerated stereotypical view of what a man is supposed to be, which goes hand in hand with seeing women as delicate, inferior, and in need of protection. Rambo often comes from a home or neighborhood where he was the target of violence himself and learned that the only way to feel safe is to be stronger, tougher, and less caring than everyone else. He has little patience for weakness, fragility, or indecision. Often he has a criminal record for violence, theft, drunk driving, or drug dealing. Early in a relationship, Rambo is likely to be loving and kind to his partner, like most abusers. Because he lacks fear or pretends to, he can make a woman feel safe and protected. This style of abuser can therefore be particularly appealing to a woman who comes from a violent home herself, or one who is in the process of leaving another abusive relationship. Rambo can make you feel as though his aggressiveness would never be directed towards you because he loves you. He wishes to look after your safety as if you were his daughter. He enjoys the role of protector, feeling like a gallant knight. However, he lacks respect for women, and his disrespect combined with his general violent tendencies means that it's only a matter of time before he will be the one you need protecting from. Many highly masculine men are not Rambo. The notion that all macho men are likely to abuse women is based largely on class and ethnic prejudices, the same misconceptions that allow Mr. Sensitive or Mr. Right to skate by undetected. There are plenty of tough guys out there who are friendly to everyone and avoid aggressive interactions whenever possible, but enjoying lifting weights, playing rough sports, hunting, and other aspects of stereotypical masculinity. They may be good fighters, but only in self-defense. It isn't macho that women need to watch out for. Its danger signs are violence and intimidation towards anyone, and disrespect and superiority towards women. I'm going to say that again. It isn't macho that women need to watch out for. The danger signs are violence and intimidation towards anyone and disrespect and superiority towards women. Sometimes Rambo is a psychopath or a sociopath, which can make him all the more emotionally abusive and in some cases physically abusive as well. Later, we'll take a look at psychopaths and other mentally disordered abusers. The essential attitudes driving Rambo are strength and aggressiveness are good, compassion and conflict resolution are bad. Anything that could be remotely associated with homosexuality, including walking away from potential violence or showing any fear of grief, has to be avoided at any costs. I didn't know it was homosexual to walk away from violence, but I'm just as gay as they come if that's if that's the case. Femaleness and femininity, which he associates with homosexuality, are inferior. Women are here to serve men and be protected by them. Men should never hit women because it's unmanly to do so. However, exceptions to this rule can be made for my own partner if her behavior is bad enough. Men need to keep their women in line. You are a thing that belongs to me, akin to a trophy. And I think we'll stop there. Yeah, so the next one is the victim. So look forward to that. But, yeah. So this is such an interesting book. I hope that you... anything's homosexual to those types of peeps, if it means it doesn't go in their favor. Yeah. Disgraceful player. I'm triggered. Yeah. All this just reinforces my idea that men are dangerous. They certainly can be. And I think a lot of this comes from just like patriarchy. We live in a, not to be that person. I feel like patriarchy is such a trigger word now, but it actually has a meaning. This is what I dislike, especially with everybody's like, oh, everybody's so woke now. And it's like, it just shuts down any level of conversation that you can have. If you want to start off by saying, well, the patriarchy, which has an actual definition, it's a tangible thing. Now we live in an environment where the moment you say that, people kind of like tune out or they think that you're trying to say a certain thing. But patriarchy establishes like this hierarchy in certain things. And I've started to realize that too, because oftentimes I've thought about like certain religions, and it's like, why is it that people who grow up in these like religions that in theory are supposed to make people like loving and compassionate and spiritual, but end up creating people that are very violent and, that go on to like have war. Like, look at what's happening in the world right now with these like wars and stuff. But it's because it's this, hierarchical perspective, and it teaches especially men in a patriarchal society that they are just superior to women just because, and it teaches this abusive mentality, this mindset of entitlement, this mindset of I'm better than you. And I was thinking about that too, like reading this book with Christianity, because that's where I grew up in. And when you read the story of Jesus, Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world Jesus loves, and he's brave, but he's not dressed in armor, he doesn't have a weapon, he puts himself in harm's way. And it's not that he doesn't have an attitude of entitlement. It's the opposite. He teaches this attitude of empathy and compassion. And I don't know. And then I think there's a cultural aspect of Christianity that gets kind of mixed in, where I'm hearing like that onward Christian soldiers marching as to war. Like Jesus never once compared us to soldiers. Someone else did that. That became a song, and people kind of confuse this culture that's like cropped up around like Christianity for Christianity itself and the actual teachings, that it kind of like blocks out the actual heart of the teachings. And the other thing is that Jesus, a lot of people I think compare themselves to Jesus in the wrong ways, and they don't compare themselves to him in the right ways, because Jesus is kind of the exception because he's enlightened and we're not enlightened. He came to assist us, so acting like you're enlightened when you're not enlightened is not in fact helpful. And it can lead to that attitude of entitlement and like justification instead of trying to find your place in the world, and trying to be compassionate and loving, But yeah, and religion, I think it's been shaped under this like patriarchal, because spirituality, like, yeah, I think that maybe is the difference between like religion or spirituality. I don't know. because, I don't know, we're all spiritual people here, obviously. But what lends us to not have an attitude of entitlement about our beliefs? And what leads other people to feel entitled, you know? I don't know. It's a place, these are places where I think the mindset of abuse is taught and reinforced and like held up, you know? Yeah. Organized religions are agendas, not truth. So well said, Julie. That was perfect. Mwah. Perfect. And on that note, spoiler alert, didn't turn out so well for Jesus in the end. Yep. I'm going to continue to heal. Yes. All right. Well, I think I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and for all of the love as usual. And oh my gosh. I don't know how to say your name. Repete720 says, no, I was in a DV recovery class during my divorce. I purchased 12 copies of Why Does He Do That for the shelter and me and the other women in our class, dedicated each copy for future survivors. That's so beautiful. That's really beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that is what I have for you guys today. And we have a Patreon reading coming out tomorrow, and it's new love, what new love is coming in. And that kind of piggies off of the last reading that we did for some of you, the blessings that are coming in, because for some of you, the blessings that are coming in is a new relationship. So, yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to leave that there. Thank you guys for hanging out, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.